Welcome to Now Boarding.
Sound like Mutley.
Yeah.
And on that note, welcome to our latest podcast, Now Boarding. Let me just check I've got that right. Yes, I have. Now Boarding. Today is really cool because we're doing something a little bit different, talking about products a bit different. And to help me, I have invited along the lovely Jennifer Jones and James Howlett, a really good friend of mine. Now, James works for Hurtigruten, otherwise or known as the Norwegian Coastal Voyage. And Jenny has been working with me for quite a long time now. How many years, Jen?
Nearly 8 years.
8 years. Where has that gone?
Yes.
Hey, meetings and walks down the promenade. Hey, I don't know. So this is really a great opportunity because what's exciting here is that whilst James understands and knows the product and is part of the company, Jenny is actually taken time out and been and experienced the coastal voyage, as have I, but Jenny has got a much more recent experience, and we're going to talk about all things coastal voyage. James, you know, I mean, you've been with Hurtigruten for quite a while now.
Yeah, it was 3.5 years now, started with Hurtigruten, and I started when it was looking at both the expedition and the coastal product, and then when we had the separation, then just came over and started looking after only the coastal product, which was a unique experience.
I know. So listen, let's talk about what is the Norwegian coastal voyage. What is Hurtigruten? I mean, for starters, if we get down to the basics, I mean, the business has been around since 1893. Yeah. So probably I'm going to stick my neck out here and say this is probably going to be the oldest product that we potentially talk about.
Potentially, yeah.
On our podcast. And as the name suggests, with the Norwegian coastal voyage, the ships since 1893 have travelled up and down the rugged west coast of Norway, delivering food, post, people, etc. And Hurtigruten, actually, in a translation, is translated as the fast route.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the name Hurti, fast, Ruten is route. Yeah, it was the fastest way of travelling up and down the coastline for many, many years, and still people use it to this day for that exact same purpose. If, like I say, it was affectionately known as the postal route for a while, but yeah, people still use it, especially in summer. The Norwegians absolutely love it in the summer months. They'll join in various little ports of call and they'll use it to see friends and family and loved ones and what have you, even still to this day.
Because, like you say, you just touched on the people, because we talked about the post and the services of food, but also people use it to commute.
Yeah.
You know, students use it. Yeah. Even the armed forces, you know, it's an amazing infrastructure, because you can't get there or to these towns and by air or by rail in many cases.
No, I mean, a lot of the ports of call we're going to, you know, we're not there for necessarily large periods of time, but people will always ask me, if you're going somewhere that's 10, 20 minutes, like, why? What's the point? And it's because there's not a huge amount to see there. The places you're going to are tiny little fishing villages or little ports of call where there isn't a huge amount, and the ships going there and dropping off goods and services are almost like their lifeline, especially in those winter months.
You've got experience, haven't you?
Yeah, part of its charm is that it keeps that traditional feel.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how many ports of call we stopped, and locals appeared with produce. Even sometimes I thought maybe live produce. I don't know what it was in the boxes, but they appeared with produce, and 2 ports down, it would be coming off again.
Yeah.
And that was it. Maybe to their brother-in-law, maybe their sister-in-law, I don't know. But it was coming off again. It was amazing to watch at every port of call. But that was the charm. I mean, when they told me it was the old postal service, I maybe had an image of, hairy bikers, sweaty lorry men getting on and off. And it couldn't be further from the truth. It's an amazing luxury product really inside, but you're still using it as a working service, which was amazing to watch.
Yeah. But you talk about these 10, 15-minute stops.
Yeah.
Some of them are half an hour, etc. They happen, or a lot of those happen in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And you're able to actually hop off if you want.
Yes.
You're get up at 2:00 in the morning,
which we did.
Yeah.
All the time.
And hop off. I remember, here's a classic one, isn't it? I mean, if you're travelling on this voyage in the middle of summer and you've got the midnight sun.
Yeah.
Okay, so, potentially you're going as far north as the Arctic Circle. But in the summer, taken for granted, land of the midnight sun. You come into somewhere like Aylesund, which is beautiful place on stilts. The water is so calm, and you pull in there, and it could be 2 o'clock in the morning, and the sun is actually shining across, a low sun right across the water. It's beautiful, like ball of fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable just to see that. I mean, there's nothing open, but you've got to get off and see it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and then even in those winter months as well, because obviously we travel all year round. Those winter months, some of them you will, like I say, you can get off and go and explore if you want to on some of those short stops. That's why the 12-day route is so popular, because usually any of the ones you're going up to on northbound that are in the middle of the night, you'll go to on the day on the way back down. So it gives you a great opportunity to see the most of Norway that you want to do and tick those places off.
How did you find, Jed, I mean, the coastal voyage, a lot of people, obviously, there's people who say, well, I wouldn't want to go up to Norway and all around there because the sea might be a little bit rough at times and things like that. But actually, you spend very little time out in open water, as it will, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're fairly well protected.
Because we flew to Bergen, and following the coast up meant that we stuck very close to the coast. So I really didn't feel an awful lot. There was some movement to it. It's a boat at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I really didn't feel an awful lot. And plenty of ports of call, as they said. Some you didn't even realise you'd pulled into and you're pulling out of almost immediately.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to do it in the depths of the winter. So on the flip side to what Phil was just saying, we only had 3 or 4 hours of daylight a day. But they even raised an alarm when the northern lights were. So 2 o'clock in the morning, alarm going off. We all got our pyjamas, on top of our pyjamas, our jackets and our bobble hats, and went outside and saw the northern lights. Yeah. An alarm goes off when the northern lights are very well visible. So they make sure that you see them as many times as you can on a winter voyage.
See, I've never seen the Northern Lights. I've been up there. No, and you know what? When we had them in England, was it last year?
Yeah.
Or earlier this year?
And earlier this year.
This year.
Yeah.
I was in bloody USA. I was in...
Oh, well.
So everyone's raving about the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
I'm not thousands of miles away. No chance to see it. Oh, I missed it.
No.
But like you say, that's a good thing about travelling in the winter as well, isn't it? Most people want to go and see and experience the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
And really, really popular.
Yeah, absolutely. So the busiest time for the UK customer tends to be around those winter months. Mm-hmm. And like you said there, Phil, the last sort of 12 months, we've had the solar maximum. So we've had these incredible sightings of the Northern Lights, like even down into Cornwall and down the south coast of the UK. But nothing does quite sort of touch on how amazing it is in the far Arctic of Norway. You've got snow on the mountains, seeing the Northern Lights. I remember the first time I went on the product, in the 5-day sailing I did from Kirkenes over to Trondheim, those 5 days we saw it 4 times.
Really?
And by the end, the Northern Lights were impressive, but you were almost too impressed by the night sky and the stars and how clear it was. Yeah. People were actually more impressed by that than the Northern Lights still going on.
Yeah, so after we got off one night, the next night we tended to get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I wouldn't have ever believed in my life, my lifetime, that I would enjoy just popping myself out of bed and putting a jacket on and standing outside. And then at the moment you all stood outside, they came around with hot cocoa.
Yeah.
And phenomenal.
I do remember when I was on, it was winter time, and I remember taking that leap of faith, that walk across the top deck to get into the plunge pool. It was about -20 outside.
I did it, yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
I did it, yes. Me and the friend I was travelling with, we were the only one side of the plunge pool at the back. Until a German couple joined us.
It was snowing. It was absolutely fantastic. I can't explain the experience. So whilst we're on board, Norwegian coastal voyage, food is going to be very much geared around the destination.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, isn't it? We talk quite often in this industry, in the travel industry, about foodie cruises or foodie river voyages and things like this.
Yeah.
But the Norwegian coastal voyage, and we're just specifically talking about that at the moment, I mean, it is what it is. You are in Norway. What are people going to expect?
So, I mean, the food is one thing. I'm sure you'll attest to this. The food is incredible on board. I've been lucky enough to work with some great products over the years, but the food on board Hurti has got to be some of the best I've had. Our name for the concept we have on board is Norway's Coastal Kitchen. And the reason being is because you're getting everything from the coast. I think it's over 85% of the food and drink we have on board are from the ports you're actually going to. We use over 50 different suppliers across 15 different ports. And to your point, you see people bringing on ingredients every day, and you're seeing fresh stuff being brought on, and that's what they're going to cook with that day. In fact, our new product on Signature, one of the restaurants, there is no menu. You see no menu when you're on board because it depends on what the chefs are able to get each day. So you can have a totally different menu every single night and go and eat this incredible fine dining, tasting menu concept dinner and be totally impressed and wowed every single day.
Yeah, the one thing I loved about there wasn't a lot of choice because of that. It's all fresh produce. So they had one fish dish and one meat dish, and it was reindeer steak. That was it. It was reindeer steak. That's how it was.
Good old Rudolph.
Yes, but yes, he was a goner. So, no, but he did spell it out. It was reindeer steak, and whilst in Rome, that's what you do. But if you prefer the fish dish, herring, it was the local produce all coming on every day, and I loved that.
Yeah,
and the breakfast phenomenal as well. Lots of homemade granolas and oats and things like that. Fresh berries, very Nordic Scandinavian feel. Wonderful.
You see, you picked up, there's 3 things I'd pick up from there. I think we should discuss them. This is really important because the sustainability side.
Yes.
The thing about Signature, your new product, for Hurtigruten. And also you talked about herring.
Yeah.
Well,
love that.
There's something else that likes herring. So let's talk about what else that you would go on a Norwegian coastal voyage for, because at certain times of the year, people want to see the orcas.
Yeah.
They want to see the killer whales. They want to see the humpback whales.
Yeah.
But there are traditional times where the herring is in abundance. And of course, they'll come in and it's a feast, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, the wildlife must be a big thing for Hurtigruten.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in those summer months. With the Signature product, we now do something called the Svalbard line, where we'll go all the way up to Svalbard, which obviously home of walruses, polar bears. So hopefully you can see things like
it's as far as you get, isn't it?
It is. It's the northerly most settled, inhabited place on the planet. It's truly, truly remote and incredible.
Fact.
Yeah, there we go. And I think there's more polar bears than people there. Yeah. There's over 3,000 polar bears that they think are inhabited in Svalbard. So it's incredibly unique place. And to your point as well, even in just the summer months on the coastal voyage, the things you can hopefully see when you're there, whales, like you say, sea eagles and reindeer, the different type of deer along the coast as well. Even on the coast, on the border towards Sweden, you've got wolves and bear and lynx and things like that. It is really abundant in wildlife.
But that's specific. I mean, you have specific lecturers as well, don't you?
Yeah.
And people on board that will talk you through the wildlife.
Yeah, very, very knowledgeable people on board, definitely. They're very passionate about what they do, but there's nothing they didn't know, and they were prepared to talk to you about it any time during the day and night. But they had specific lectures just before you got to a port of call. They had a lecture about that port of call. But we were lucky enough to go on a hike up to from Kirkenes up to the Russian border.
Right, lovely.
So we did a hike up there, yeah. And although it was a very dark cruise, was I say a few hours of we didn't see an awful lot in the sea on that particular cruise. But the other wildlife was phenomenal. Just to see eagles flying overhead.
Yeah.
And the thought that they're passing over Norway and going into Russia on their own. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. We were all told, stay back. This is a soft border, but if you move any further, you'll be in Russia. So we were like, okay, we'll just stay here. Yeah. But that was, just to see. We saw winter fox. It was just, amazing.
Yeah, the wildlife is, and like you say, the people on board are so passionate about it. And what you were saying earlier, Phil, about obviously the different ports you'll go to, even the crew on board, the ports that they're getting on and off at before they start the shift, it's where they live.
Yes.
They actually get off and go home.
Yeah.
And then when they start their next shift, they're walking from the house onto the ship and then doing the sailing for a few weeks and then getting off again. That's where they start on and off. It's not set in Bergen. It depends where they live. They use it as a taxi almost.
It's incredible. Yeah. Did you, Jenny, do the dog sledding?
No, I didn't. We did the hike instead. And with us came the guides, and they brought huskies with us. But we didn't actually do the sledding.
What sort of we've talked about hikes before on the podcast, various places. We've talked about it on the east coast of Australia and hiking and things like that. But I imagine it's very different when you're hiking in Norway.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So, brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it just, makes me want to cry. But
don't let me hold you back.
No.
It's great for TV.
No, but you have all the gear, so they make sure that you've got everything on. And, at the door, they provide you with spikes if you want them for your shoes as well. So that's a nice touch because you don't always know whether to bring everything. You can't pack spikes sometimes. No. So they give you spikes. But it was about 5 or 6 miles we did, which is not outstanding, but it's easy for most people to do. But just to go into the wilderness and be completely on your own with 6 foot of snow, it was, amazing. But we took husky dogs with us. They provide, again, when we got there, they had so much information and they gave us hot chocolate again. They provide hot chocolate every occasion. So, yeah, brilliant.
So before we talk about the new signature program, I think it's important to clarify the difference and also what style of holiday this is. I think people will start to be thinking, is this, when I go on this cruise, do I dress in the same way I would dress for a river cruise? Is it very similar to like a touring holiday or something along the lines? Because what is it, Joe? What would you pack? Because there's no way you're packing dinner suits.
No.
Or anything like that.
You really wouldn't. And there's no space in your suitcase for any of that. No. You just need to pack waterproofs, thermal vests, thick socks.
You're not selling it.
Lots of layers, isn't it? Yeah.
Wait a minute. Was it Arkwright that said there's no bad weather, there's just the wrong clothing?
Yeah.
So
I love that. Great line, that.
It's a great line from Mr. Arkwright many, many years ago.
Yeah.
But he had a point. And he doesn't always have a point with England when the rain is dripping off your nose, but that isn't the case with Norway. Most of the time it wasn't raining. There was no rain. It was just wonderful snow and freezing cold conditions. But if you've got the right clothing, it takes your breath away. It's just amazing. There's nothing. And it was for all age groups as well. I was 45 when I did it. And the demographic on board was probably 55 to 60, 63 that were on board. So it is for all age groups. It's,
In the summer, let's be honest, I've cruised the Norwegian fields in the summer, especially around June and July. We've had some fantastically hot days. Yeah. No question about it, but it is horses for courses, depending on the time of the year that you go.
Definitely.
But there's no need to, because people are going into the restaurant with walking boots, trainers, whatever it is, jeans, shorts, whatever the weather is.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point there, Phil, obviously even summer months, it gets warm, but what people don't always realise is Norway is actually the second largest coastline on the planet, and we cover over 2,500 nautical miles.
Full of facts.
Do you know what I mean? That's all it goes for.
Factoid.
I'm great in a pub quiz. So it's 2,500 nautical miles we cover from Bergen up to Kirkenes on that Russian border and back to Bergen. So the weather in Bergen can be drastically different than when you're on the North Cape, even in summertime.
Yes.
So to what you were saying before, lots of layers for people because, it might be a little bit chilly in the north, but then in the south, it's absolutely gorgeous. And even in those winter months, I did it in March this year, did the signature cruise. And we started in Oslo when we finished in Tromsø.
Yeah.
In Tromsø, it's snow everywhere. It was -10. But in Oslo, it was 12 degrees. So again, even on such a short voyage, it changes such a lot.
There's no room for your Louis Vuittons and your shoes.
No.
But you know what?
There's no need for them.
No, but
the thing is, the way Scandinavians dress, it's all Helly Hansen. It's fabulous stuff,
Other brands are available.
It's cool. Sorry.
Oh, we don't mind that.
I don't own any Helly Hansen.
Did I send you a free jacket?
It's all prime. No, but it's lovely, the way the Scandinavians do dress. It's Timberland boots and your jeans and a nice sweatshirt for tea, dinner. That's
But again, this is not a cheap product. This is incredible value for money. In many ways, it's bucket shop or bucket list. So I say experiences here.
Yeah.
This is something that people aspire to do, and therefore it's not cheap, but it is amazing value for money.
Yeah.
And now on the other side, if we are talking where we go into a bit more of a premium experience, Hurtigruten have just launched this fabulous product called Signature.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, James.
So obviously we've got the original voyage, which is incredible. You do 34 ports of call, 12-day round trip, and we've 7 ships that do that in rotation. We do it all year round.
Yeah.
The UK market and other markets around the world have been crying out for something that is a little bit different. So in 2023, we launched our signature voyages. Now we do 2. We do 1 in summer and we do 1 in winter. Summer is the Svalbard line. It goes from Bergen all the way up to Svalbard and back to Bergen. And then winter, the North Cape line starts in Oslo, goes to the North Cape up to Hurtigruten, and then back down to Oslo as well.
So you only do
2 itineraries.
2 itineraries on one ship.
Yeah.
How many times does that sail on those itineraries?
So Svalbard line will start in April through to September.
Okay, yeah.
And then North Cape line will start in end of September through to early April.
Gotcha. Right.
So one is to see the midnight sun, obviously, and the other is to see the northern lights. That's the primary purpose of them. But the great and the unique thing about it is, compared to original, you go do one port a day. So you're in one port, you're going to spend loads of time in that port, you're going to be able to explore by yourself, do some longer excursions. But the ship we use, MS Trollfjord, used to hold about 800 people on our coastal voyages. We took it out for refurbishment in 22, 23. Now it only holds 500. So we've made dining venues bigger. We've made public spaces bigger.
Wow. You're taking out about 40% of the camp.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've made suites larger, added in some more suites as well, because people want to... It's not really like a traditional cruise still. It's probably more similar to a river cruise in terms of look and feel and how the journey progresses. But it's a real elevation of food on board, sort of comfort levels on board as well, and just that general ambience as well has just been increased massively, just to offer something a bit different.
And on the signature experience, what do they pay for when they're on board?
So all inclusive on board, so drinks are all included, so beers, wine, soft drinks, cocktails, sweets, get like an elevated drinks package as well, so some more premium drinks. Our Havertz Bobbler, which is a really unique concept that we had.
What?
Havertz Bobbler. So
That's what happens.
yeah, so it's a sparkling wine from the UK, and what they did is they put it into crates and they sank it down to over 30 meters of depth within the Norwegian fjords, because that temperature is stable. It's a perfect place for wine to sort of...
It's 1,000 feet in it.
Yeah, so it's perfect place to develop the flavour and for it to just sort of sit there at the bottom of the ocean, and then we bring it up and we serve it on board, this incredible wine, and it is stunning. It's this beautiful brainchild of a guy called Tanny.
What way of...
He's Norwegian, is he?
Yeah,
Only the Norwegians could think of that.
Honestly,
it's marvellous.
so passionate. The first time they brought that crate up, he was there watching it, and as it got brought up and he saw, because he was terrified, obviously, being at that pressure, being at that depth, he was like, oh God, what if it, the bottles crack or burst?
Yes.
They bring it up and it's just a crate of broken glass. They brought it up and he burst into tears. He was that happy to see it worked.
Really?
This principle developed, and it is stunning. We always do like a bit of a tasting on board.
Yeah.
So when we get people on board, we have a tasting at the fine dining restaurant, and it's lovely. But it's just things like that they try, and so all inclusive. Never expect tips on board Hurtigruten. You don't have to pay for that. Meals are all included, so you can eat at our main restaurant, and you can also eat at a Aran, which is like a steakhouse inspired by the Sami people. And then if you're in a suite, you can also eat at the fine dining restaurant Rost, free of charge as well, for breakfast, lunch and dinner. There's loads of entertainment on board, so there's a musician. Again, it's not like big cruise ships by any means.
No,
there's lectures, there's things like that.
Yeah.
We've doubled the size of our expedition team on board as well.
Really?
Just so we can do more talks around points of interest. We can do more little hikes and things like that as well. So lots and lots included. And then people just choose what excursions they want to do.
Fantastic. Now, listen, let's just touch on something here, which is really important. Hurtigruten is famed for its commitment to the environment.
Yeah.
So you can talk to me. I mean, you must know a lot, Jenny.
Yeah.
James, talk to me about the sustainability side of Hurtigruten and what's the script? What are you doing? What's so different about you guys? Because, transiting in and out of the fjords and the Norwegian coastal voyage is so sensitive now.
Yeah.
You have to be, you have to be on it in terms of the environmental impact. What's going on there with Hurtigruten? You won a lot of awards, I know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, again, you'll say this, for Norway as a whole, they're incredibly passionate about the environment and making sure that it's kept in a pristine way for future generations.
The people are.
Yeah, they really care about it. I mean, they've got a great concept. I mean, it's a nightmare to work for, but in summertime, they disappear for 6 weeks. Their culture is, we're having time off, we're going out exploring, they go out hiking into the wilderness, they go stay at cabins. Speaking to some of the team just last week, and he was one of the guys in revenue management had just come back from his cabin in the woods, so he'd been there for a few weeks, and he said, I'm back. I'm just, after this meeting's finished, I'm going back out again, and that's their culture. They've just got a great way.
But their work-life balance is pretty good.
Oh, it's incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how they work the program, but their work-life balance is great.
But they care about the environment so much. Their culture is to be outside. So there's the top level stuff like, we've reduced CO2 emissions by 20%, we've reduced NOx emissions by 80%. We're developing the world's first zero emission cruise ship, which hopefully will be developed and sail in 2030, which will run on a combination of wind and solar power and things like that. So we're doing all those things. We've hybridized a load of the fleet as well. We've got onshore charging. But for me, and the really exciting part is actually, it's the food. It's where we're getting the food from. We're not importing it in from thousands of miles away. We're investing in local towns. We're investing in local communities. I think the stat is 99% of the drinks are bought from family-owned businesses in Norway. On most of our excursions, over 100 excursions are bought from family-run businesses within Norway. Wow. So again, we're employing Norwegian crew on board as well, and paying Norwegian salaries. So it comes into, from my perspective, not just the CO2 stuff, which is important, but it's actually what we're doing in the environment we're in, how we can make it a better place and how we can make sure it's there for many, many generations. We've just launched an initiative as well that every single sailing, we're investing a percentage of the revenue.
Send that?
Yeah, we're giving it into the villages they're actually going to. These smaller villages.
Yes, some of them only 200 people, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's worked out. I think it's just over £9,000 roughly per sailing, every single sailing into these little areas.
And it allows them to reinvest because it's that local produce. It's also developing and building, infrastructure in some of these places for local people.
Definitely.
And I understand that whole concept for Norway. You get it, don't you, Jay? You're really passionate about that.
Yeah, I mean, I know you know where they source products from and they gave us all that information. What was interesting was the first time I'd seen, it's been a couple of years since I went, is what they actually do with food waste and everything as well. Like generating pellets, which are fish food, rather than, it just all goes to that and it all gets recycled in some way on board the ship.
Yeah.
Which is the first time I'd seen it.
Yeah. So, we have a compound as well that goes in for food wastage and that uses compost then and fertiliser in the farms where we're getting our other bits of food from. So it's that total circular regeneration.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about food because I had this thing, right, about where we talk about different countries, and what sort of local delicacies there are. We'll come back to that in a minute because this is really quite cool. But I think I just would like, before we finish this as well, I think it's important, Jenny, we'll put a little QR code or an email on there because I think, people who've watched this or listened to this will really want to know more about Norwegian coastal voyage and about the signature. You've experienced it. They can talk to you,
yes,
and you can share your experiences and tell them really what's going to work for them. What's the best time of the year to go? But we have a little thing here. I think who's got it? Or Liv's got it.
Ooh.
We have local. So I went out to Norway, and I sourced. Here she is. Come on, Liv. What have we got here?
Thank you. So, finest delicacies.
Delicacies. So look at that. What have we got here? Oh, she's got it ready. So let's give it a shake.
Really posh fish fingers.
No. These are I think the chicken things. But look, that's not the thing. What we got here is Norwegian tomato sauce. Right? Now I have a connoisseur on tomato ketchup. Okay, let me just tell you. And there's a good friend of mine in the business, Mr. David Hoyle. He is also a connoisseur on ketchup.
Right.
So
okay.
I found this in Norway whilst I was on a voyage up there, and I tasted it. I thought, fantastic. It's got lower sugar content than others, and but it's just amazing. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you a little. Oh, look at that! I've got it everywhere. It's all down me. I look at this. There you go. Squirt that in there. Right, there you go. I didn't catch. Go on, have a go. Have a dip. Come on. Tell me.
So we're just supposed to dip it in and then test it for
Tell me what you think that's all. Give it a good...
Even though I do not claim to be to ketchup.
Come on, have a go. Come on, James, get in there. What do you reckon? Big dollop sauce. What do you reckon? Come on.
That was nice.
Scandinavian ketchup, yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
I can't double dip.
Yeah.
You do what you want here.
I don't know if it's...
No, we don't mind. You can double dip.
Mike.
We know where you've been.
Go for it.
So listen, man, you can get that online actually. I done ketchup. There you go. I actually order about half a dozen bottles at a time.
Oh, do you?
And I give it to grandchildren. They love it.
They can't have daddies. They can have Norway ketchup.
Ketchup. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, sir. There's a company we use now. Again, we do various events, and they do loads of Scandinavian like little delicacies and chocolate and things like that. One of the best things in Norway, and again, this sounds terrible. The best things in Norway is this little thing. It's called a quick lunch, and it's basically a Kit Kat. And first time I had it, it's a slightly better Kit Kat.
Yeah.
But it is a Kit Kat. Yeah. And inside, when you open the wrapper, it has like the hiking code of conduct of what to do and what have you for Norwegians.
Yeah.
They're dead passionate about it. And the Norwegians argued with me about if it was from Norway or not. I was like, no, it's a Kit Kat. It's like, anyway, it's developed in York. They send it over from York for this Norwegian chocolate bar that they're really proud of. Yeah, it's made in York, and they ship it over. But it's lovely. But we get loads of it in the office. It doesn't last 2 minutes. It's gorgeous, the chocolate.
But it does look like and feel like a Kit Kat.
It is. It's a carbon copy of a Kit Kat.
Our Norwegian guide said to us, don't call it a Kit Kat, though.
No.
It is a Kit Kat. No, it's not a Kit Kat.
And inside it is a guide to hiking.
Some guide to hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah, do's and don'ts.
Well, there you go. This has been really entertaining. It's been fantastic. Like I say, just contact Jenny if you want to know anything about a Norwegian coastal voyage or signature. James, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on board. Now aboard it.
Now disembarking.
Disembark. Just go on one.
Thanks so much for joining us for our Now Boarding podcast with Hurtigruten. It's been great to have you with us. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Thanks ever so much. Goodbye from me.
And bye from me.
And bye from me.
Bye-bye now.